health, safety, and environment has moved away from using the POPMAR policy, organizing, planning, measuring performance, auditing, and review, a model of managing health and safety to a plan, do, check, and act approach. The move towards plan, do, check, and act achieves a balance between the systems and behavioral aspects of management. It also treats health and safety management as an integral part of good management generally, rather than as a standalone system. The high level descriptions may vary depending on the industry or sector you are working in, but a summary of actions involved in delivering effective arrangements and how they are frequently described we'll discuss in the training session today. Hello and welcome. I am Javed and you are watching Safety First. If you are new on this channel, kindly subscribe the channel and press the bell icon for all future notifications. And if you find the video informative, then like, comment, and share with your friends. As discussed in the intro, PDCA plan, do, check, and act. This is a health and safety management system. In short, we will see what we have to look in the planning section or in the planning part. Think about where you are now and where you need to be. Say what you want to achieve, who will be responsible for what, how you will achieve your aims, and how you will measure your success. You may need to write down this policy and your plan to deliver it. Decide how you will measure performance. Think about ways to do this that go beyond looking at accident figures. Look for leading indicators as well as lagging indicators. Consider fire and other emergencies. Cooperate with anyone who shares your workplace and coordinate plans with them. Remember to plan for changes and identify any specific legal requirements that apply to you. All these questions should be the part of plan section. And these questions are not for any individual. This is something about your organization or the business, not for any individual or the personality. After planning section, let us discuss what to do in PDCA. Do section. Identify your risk profile. Assess the risks. Identify what could cause harm in the workplace, who it could harm and how, and what you will do to manage the risk. Decide what the priorities are and identify the biggest risks. Organize your activities to deliver your plan. In particular, aim to involve workers and communicate so that everyone is clear on what is needed and can discuss issues. Develop positive attitudes and behaviors. Provide adequate resources, including competent advice where needed. And lastly, implement your plan. Decide on the preventive and protective measures needed and put them in place. Provide the right tools and equipment to do the job and keep them maintained. Train and instruct to ensure everyone is competent to carry out their tasks, their work activities, and supervise to make sure that arrangements are implemented and followed properly. Let us see what should be in part 3, section 3, that is check, PDC, C for check. In the check section, you have to measure your performance. Make sure that your plan has been implemented. Paperwork on its own is not a good performance measure. Assess how well the risks are being controlled. And if you are achieving your aims, in some circumstances, formal audits may be useful and investigate the causes of accidents, incidents, and near misses. All this be the part of check section. P for plan, D for do, and C for check. Now let us see what is the meaning of act. In this section, you have to review your performance, learn from accidents and incidents, ill health data, errors, and relevant experience, including from other organizations. In the X stage, you have to revisit plans, policy documents, and risk assessments to see if they need updating and take action on lessons learned, including from audit and inspection reports. Dear friends and fellows, there are four parts: PDCA, plan, do, check, and act. And you are well aware what is on the different stages, what is needed on act, what is at check, what is on do, and what should be the part of plan section. After this short intro, let us discuss now the core elements of managing health and safety. Organizations have a legal duty to put in place suitable arrangements to manage for health and safety, as this can be viewed as a wide-ranging general requirement. HSC encourages a common sense and practical approach. It should be part of everyday process of running an organization or a business and an integral part of workplace behaviors and attitudes. Whatever your industry or the size or the nature of your organization, the keys to effectively managing for health and safety are: number one, leadership and management; number two, a trained, skilled workforce; and number three, an environment where people are trusted and involved. All organizations have management processes or arrangements to deal with payroll, personal issues, finance, and quality control. Managing health and safety is no different. The Management of Health and Safety at Work Regulations 1999 require employers to put in place arrangements to control health and safety risks. As a minimum, you should have the process and procedures required to meet the legal requirements, including a written health and safety policy if you employ five or more workers, assessments of risks to employees, contractors, customers, partners, and any other people who could be affected by your work activities, and record the significant findings in writing. If you employ five or more people, any risk assessment must be suitable and sufficient. This is the legal requirement. Where there are five or more employees, there should be a written risk assessment. There should be a written health and safety policy. There must be a record of significant findings. And keep remember, risk assessment must be suitable and sufficient, not only the copy paste practice. It should be relevant to the nature of your activities and the project. Arrangements for effective planning, organization, control, monitoring, and review of preventive and protective measures that come from risk assessment. Access to competent health and safety advice, providing employees with information about the risks in your workplace and how they are protected. Instruction and training for employees in how to deal with the risks, ensuring there is adequate and appropriate supervision in place, consulting with employees about their risks at work and current preventive and protective measures. These all are the legal requirements. Health and safety regulations put these responsibilities or duties on an employer who is going to start any business and having five or more employees in his company or in the organization. One more important thing, risk profiling. Many safety practitioners, they ask, what is the meaning of risk profiling? Dear friends and fellows, effective leaders and line managers know the risks their organizations face, rank them in order of importance, and take action to control them. This is risk profiling. The range of risks goes beyond health and safety risks to include quality, environmental, and asset damage. But issues in one area could impact in another. Although you may not use these precise terms, you will most likely have built a risk profile that covers the nature and level of the risks faced by your organization, the likelihood of adverse effects occurring, and the level of disruption, the costs associated with each type of risk, and lastly, the effectiveness of controls in place to manage those risks. These 4 points, the nature and level of risk, the likelihood of adverse effects, the cost associated with each type of risk, and the effectiveness of controls. Actually, this is risk profiling. After risk profiling, you have to think, are you doing what you need to do? We will discuss here the examples of evidence to look for when deciding if you are doing what you need to do to manage for health and safety effectively. It will help you answer fundamental questions such as, what are the strengths and weaknesses of your organization's health and safety performance? And are there any barrier to change? How reliable and sustainable for the future are the measures currently in place? If your organization is getting risk control right, why is that? For example, does performance depend on one person's dedication and enthusiasm, or is it a key value across the organization? If there are problems, what are the underlying reasons? For example, competence, resources, accountability, lack of engagement with the workforce, or something else? Have you learned from situations where things have gone wrong? The advice also reflects the areas that the health and safety regulator will consider when assessing the effectiveness of your arrangements. In the do stage, the risk profile of an organization informs all aspects of the approach to leading and managing its health and safety risks. Every organization will have its own risk profile. This is the starting point for determining the greatest health and safety issues for the organization. In some businesses, the risks will be tangible and immediate safety hazards, whereas in other organizations, the risk may be health related and it may be long time before the illness becomes apparent. A risk profile examines the nature and level of the threat faced by an organization. The outcome of risk profiling will be that the right risks have been identified and prioritized for action, and minor risks will not have been given too much priority. It also informs decisions about what risk control measures are needed. Again, here you have to think what you are doing based on your risk profiling. Leaders at all levels need to understand the range of health and safety risks in their part of the organization and to give appropriate attention to each of them. A leaders means who are leading, who are managing the business. This is not a political leader. This applies to the level of detail and effort put into assessing the risks, implementing controls, supervising and monitoring. Here we will discuss some leading indicators. Is there leadership for the top of your organization? Is it visible? What example do you set? Do you talk about health and safety? When did you last do this? What are your significant risks and how do you know they are being controlled? Are the health and safety implications of your business decisions recognized and addressed? Is there evidence that the board or leader of your organization is responsive to the health and safety information that is reported? The second most important thing, how you are managing tasks in your workplace. How is health and safety included in the processes or management arrangements you have for running the business? Are the health and safety responsibilities of key people set out? For example, who is the champion focus at the board? Who sets HSC policy and safety standards? Who monitors safety performance? Are these responsibilities reflected in their job descriptions? How do you ensure access to competent advice? How do you ensure health and safety information is communicated effectively within and beyond your organization? How do you control your contractors? And how do you review your health and safety performance? Here the question is how to know the safety management system is effective or it is not effective. For better understanding, I will share some examples how a leader will looks like when health and safety management system is working effectively. Leaders will maintain attention on significant risks and implementation of adequate controls. Leaders will demonstrate their commitment by their actions. They are aware of the key health and safety issues. Leaders will ensure consultation with the workforce on health and safety issues. And the leaders will challenge unsafe behavior in a timely way. This will be the attitude. This will be the response of a leader if the health and safety management system is working correctly, effectively, efficiently. Now, let us look. If the health and safety management system is not working effectively, it is managed badly, or it is not managed at all, how the response or the behavior of a leader will be. Leaders will set no health and safety priorities. Leaders don't understand the need to maintain oversight. Leaders don't meet their own organization standards and procedures. For example, wearing correct PPE on site. They will definitely violate their own rules. They will not respect their own safety standards if the health and safety management system is not effective. Leaders will show lack of engagement with health and safety by workers. Health and safety is seen as an add-on, irrelevance or nonsense if the health and safety management system is not effective. And leader will not show any interest in the incident history, accidents, near misses, plant damage or other indicators, poor maintenance, poor housekeeping. These all are the different examples of ineffective or badly managed health and safety management system. Dear friends and fellows, if in an organization the health and safety management system is effective, let us see how the health and safety department will be in that organization. A systematic approach is used to manage health and safety. People understand the risks and control measures associated with their work. Contractors adhere to the same standards. Appropriate documentation is available, current, organized, and relevant. People understand their roles and those of others. Performance is measured to check controls are working and standards are being implemented, and to learn from mistakes after things go wrong. These are the examples of effective health and safety management system where health and safety department is independent, free, and at ease to perform their duties as per the legal and contractual requirements. If the system is not managed or badly managed, Then you will find incomplete or missing paperwork, doesn't link to actual risks in the workplace, confusion over roles, inaction as no one takes responsibility for health and safety, distrust of management motives, widespread routine violations of procedures, no oversight of contractors. Information is not passed on, not understood, or not implemented. Managers are unaware of employee concerns or don't respond appropriately. Lessons are never learned. Another example, if something will go wrong at site, once the junior staff, they are going to call their manager, and manager, he is aware that some major or medium incident occur. They are just closing or switching off their mobile phones and they quit from the offices. This is also an example of poorly managed or badly managed or not at all managed health and safety standard in a project or in the workplace or in an organization. Dear friends and fellows, truly effective health and safety management requires competency across every facet of an organization and through every level of the workplace. What is competence? Competence is the ability to undertake responsibilities and perform activities to a recognized standard on a regular basis. It combines practical and thinking skills, knowledge, and experience. The Management of Health and Safety at Work Regulations 1999 require an employer to appoint one or more competent people to help them implement the measures they need to take to comply with the legal requirements. That could be member of the workforce, the owner, manager, or an external consultant. A competent person should focus on the significant risks and those with serious consequences. The competence of individuals is vital, whether they are employers, managers, supervisors, employees, or contractors, especially those with safety critical roles such as plant maintenance engineers, health and safety practitioners. It ensures they recognize the risks in their activities and can apply the right measures to control and manage those risks. Without competence, it is not easy to manage. Here you have to look again what you are doing and what you have to do. Here we will discuss, first of all, the health and safety responsibilities from managers and supervisors. How are they made aware of them? What training have they been given to fulfill roles and responsibilities? How are they held accountable? Do they recognize continuing development needs in annual appraisals? Secondly, we will see the role of health and safety manager who is managing health and safety in the project or in the workplace. What are their background, training and qualifications? What is their awareness of current health and safety law relating to key risks? Are they allowed enough time to dedicate to health and safety? Number three, we'll see external provider of competent advice with respect to health and safety. How were they selected? What is their competence to provide advice to this particular organization? Do they allocate adequate resources and tailor advice to this particular organization? Check that the documentation provided, visit reports is suitable, covers the key hazards, assess the right risks, and gives the right advice. Dear friends and fellows, you have also to find out, does the organization act upon advice from the competent safety professional? If there is an identified lack of competence in a particular area, what are you doing to deal with the problem? How are staff selected for the tasks carried out? Are arrangements in place to ensure staff are aware of roles and their responsibilities? Have you identified the training they need? Ensure relevant and sufficient training is delivered. Look for use of training schedules, operating manuals, sampling delivery of training, training for trainers, etc. Check the necessary level of competence has been reached. Check that training is applied. Provide update and refresher trainings. Ensure training records are kept. Have you provided enough competent cover for absences? These all are the questions that need to be checked, need to be answered in the do stage. Let us discuss a few examples. Those are related to competence. If the people they are competent, how it looks, all know the risks created by the business and understand how to manage them. Key responsible people, job holders are identified and there are clearly established roles and responsibilities. People have the necessary training, skills, knowledge, and experience to fulfill their responsibilities and are given enough time to do so. Training takes place during normal working hours and employees are not charged if the health and safety management system is effective. They will act and behave in this way. But if the organization is badly managed or not managed at all, then you will find lack of awareness of key hazards and risks. People lack the skills, knowledge, and experience to do their job. Health and safety advice and training are irrelevant, incompetent, or wrong. No standards set. People not held accountable. Insufficient action is taken to comply with the law. Knee-jerk reactions follow incidents, near misses. The organization doesn't know what it needs to do to move forward. There might be additional factors, but these all are the examples of badly managed health and safety management system where there is no value for competence. There is the value for relationships, the culture of hiring and grabbing your own friends and relatives in the business, in the organization. And the ultimate result is loss for the business and drastic incidents and accidents in the workplaces. The reason is because the workforce or the staff member, they are not skilled, they are not competent, they have no relevant experience with the particular job, but still they are working and they are hired because of favoritism and might is right policy for any kind of business. If the workers are not involved, if they will not participate, there is no way for success. How they can participate, how they can involve only with consultation. Let us discuss now the worker consultation and involvement importance. I find it hard to imagine how one could ever put in place an effective workplace health and safety system that didn't include real participation and engagement of the workforce. The legal requirements for consultation and involvement of the workforce include providing information, instruction, training, and engaging in consultation with employees from top to bottom beyond the required legal minimum standard. Worker involvement is the full participation of the workforce in the management of health and safety at its most effective. Full involvement creates a culture where relationships between employers and employees are based on collaboration, trust, and joint problem solving. Employees are involved in assessing workplace risks and the development and review of workplace health and safety policies in partnership with the employer. Again, in the check stage, you have to look what you are doing and what you have to do. How are employees, are their representatives consulted and involved in health and safety matters? How effective are those mechanisms in relation to the organization's size and structure, or the rate of workplace change, or the needs of any vulnerable workers, temporary, are those whose first language is not English or the native language of that region appropriately met, including through, for example, the use of interpreters, use of symbols and diagrams rather than written instructions. Are employees consulted in good time? Do health and safety representatives have sufficient time and access to the facilities they need to carry out their functions? Do contractors have an appropriate level of induction and training once they are going to join the new project or a workplace? Dear friends and fellows, you are watching Safety First, and today I'm discussing about Health and Safety Management System, PDCA, plan, do, check, and act. Let us discuss here now the worker consultation and involvement, what it looks like when the worker consultation and involvement is the part and parcel of that business or the organization, and what it looks like when done badly or not at all. If the consultation and worker involvement process is effective, then instruction, information, and training are provided to enable employees to work in a safe and healthy manner. Safety practitioners, safety representatives will carry out their full range of functions independently and efficiently. The workforce are consulted either directly or through their representatives in good time on issues relating to their health and safety and the results of risk assessments. These are the examples related to that organization where worker consultation and involvement is the priority by the top management. Let us share the examples where worker consultation or involvement have no importance. Employees lack the right level of information, instruction, and training needed to do their job in a safe and healthy manner. Health and safety practitioners cannot carry out their functions. Employees don't know who they would go to if they had health and safety concerns. Health and safety controls don't seem practical. Our employees are having to work around difficulties. Line managers don't discuss how to safely use new equipment or how to do a job safely. There is little or no evidence of information being cascaded through the organization. Team briefings, toolbox talks, notice boards, or safety meetings where there is no consultation, where there is no involvement and engagements of workforce. Wish and pray to be away from that organization because this is the matter of life and health. And several times I discuss life is only once. If you compromise safety, you bet your life. Dear friends and fellows, we'll discuss the organizational arrangements and the placement of responsibilities on how and when, how to increase competence as well as the consultation, communication, and coordination among us, the different groups in the upcoming second presentation that is related to PDCA, plan, do, check, and act. And that's all for now. Training session related to PDCA, Health and Safety Management System, is over now. If you have any questions, please ask in the comment section down below. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to like, comment, and share. Hope to see you soon with a new HSC tutorial. Till then, take care, very good luck, and Allah Hafiz.